The search for the Northwest Passage. Hudson's voyages showed that some European countries hoped to find a westward route to Asia as late as the 1600s. While Spain was taking control of the Americas, other Europeans were sending out expeditions to find the Northwest Passage, a water route through North America to Asia. One of the first explorers to chart the northern route across the Atlantic Ocean in search of Asia was the Italian sailor John Cabot. In 1497, Cabot crossed the Atlantic Ocean to explore for the English. He landed in the area of Newfoundland, Canada. He was certain that he had reached Asia and claimed the land for England. The next year he set sail once more, hoping to reach Japan. He was never seen again. Even so, his voyages were the basis for future English colonies along the Atlantic shore of North America. In 1524, another Italian, Giovanni da Verrazzano, set out under the French flag to find the Northwest Passage. He explored the Atlantic coastline of North America, but there is no passage to be found. France tried again between 1534 and 1536 with the voyages of Jacques Cartier. Cartier traveled up the St. Lawrence River to the site of present-day Montreal. At that point, rapids blocked the way and ended his search for the Northwest Passage. It would be almost 75 years before the French would return to colonize the region. So this map up here explains, so the English had one explorer that crossed over to Canada and thought that he was certain that he reached Asia, but it was actually Newfoundland, Canada, and that was John Cabot in 1497. The Spanish, as you see here, is the orange, and they had the most explorers. They had looks about like a lot, like 3 or 4 maybe, about 3 or 4, and they were also trying to find the Northwest Passage, try to get to Asia, and Columbus went to the Caribbean Sea to 1502 to 1504, and Vespucci traveled around the coast here of South America and also got to the Caribbean Sea in 1499 and 1500. Magellan got almost to the coast of South America in 1519, and then Magellan's crew kind of crossed over here right by Africa in 1522. As you see here, Cortez went to Veracruz in 1519 from, it looks like Cuba right here, and then the French had a couple try to find the Northwest Passage, and they had Cartier, which traveled over to up in Canada here in 1534, and then he arrived here and he went over into the land of Canada in 1535 to 1536, and Verrazzano in 1524 went, it looks like, around the coasts of the Canary Islands here, and he traveled around the Atlantic Ocean and then went back to Europe. And the yellow explains the Aztec Empire, and the purple explains the Incan Empire. And then the last one we have here's the Portuguese, and they only had one explorer, which was Cabra in 1500, traveled to almost the coast of South America, and the Portuguese only had one explorer, and the yellow in the Aztec Empire took place in 1519, and the purple took place in 1525.